What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be giving you 10 common causes of anxiety. Go ahead and hit that like button down below if you're ready to kick anxiety in the butt, be more proactive, get into these common causes of anxiety, and get yourself set in a positive mind frame. Go ahead and leave me a comment down there below. Let me know if you have dealt with any of these common causes of anxiety. Let me know if there's anything that I left off this list that you feel should have been on it. Okay, so guys, before we get started, you need to realize that there's a difference between anxiety and anxiety disorders. A lot of people do not understand this. It is your responsibility, to go get diagnosed by a medical doctor, psychologist, therapist, counselor, etc. Make sure that you see a professional. If you've never seen a professional and you're concerned about this, I will leave a link in the description and in the first pinned comment. It's for online therapy. It's easy to use. It's free to sign up. So I will put that down below. So guys, we're gonna jump right into this. The first one is pretty obvious and I kind of want to get it out of the way, but I couldn't leave it off the list because it's extremely common, and that's being human. If you're a human out there, you're gonna experience anxiety at some point in your life. And it's very necessary and healthy in small amounts, okay? You need anxiety to perform well, okay? You may not practice. You need anxiety, a certain level of anxiety, to do really good on a test. You need to be able to study, retain information. You need a little bit of anxiety whenever you're traveling in a big city, to be aware of cars next to you whenever you switch lanes or your turns, directions, etc. Crossing the road, you need to look both ways. So you see where I'm going with this. A certain level of anxiety is necessary. It's vital to our survival, our safety, and just a higher quality of life. The next one, guys, is genetics, another pretty obvious one. Some people may not know this though. If you have somebody in your family that has an anxiety disorder or an anxiety problem, your chances definitely go up to experience the same thing. If you have somebody in your immediate family, we're talking about mother, father, or siblings, your chances go up even further. Unfortunately, I had all the signs as far as anxiety goes, but genetics were definitely playing a role there for me too. The third one is substance abuse. Yes, abusing drugs or alcohol, even things like tobacco and caffeine, can lead to higher levels of anxiety, anxious symptoms, and if you develop an addiction to these, it can become depressing over time. I know firsthand. I used alcohol to self-medicate for my anxiety disorder. I got caught up in a horrible cycle. It's not a good place to be. I thought it was helping me with my anxiety, but over the long run, guys, it made things much, much worse. Do not self-medicate with substances. Number 4 is medical illnesses and diseases. These can obviously be short-term, long-term. Things like cancer, heart disease, or even things like the flu can, raise up your levels of anxiety, make your symptoms much worse. Whether you're worried about your health, worried about the future, maybe you're worried about the funeral, maybe you're worried about the finances for your treatment. A lot of this can bring some extra stress. Something else to note, guys, that issues with your thyroid and low testosterone, which you need to get checked out if you're having any type of anxiety symptoms, those can actually mimic anxiety symptoms. So you want to make sure that you're getting treated for the right thing so you can get the help that you deserve. Number 5 is work or school. So we're kind of dipping into some environmental factors here. Work and school, obviously, a lot of that's going to come. It depends on how old you are and what level of school you're at. But a lot of them can be the same. Performance anxiety. Obviously, you want to perform well, whether you're in a school play or if you are in UIL, if you are on a football team, if you're a member of the band. Okay, at work, you obviously want to perform well because you want to get a promotion. You want to keep your job. There's stress that comes with that. Fitting in, obviously, when you're younger, it seems more important, but you'd be surprised, even at college level and even at your job, there's pressure to fit in and to socialize. Some of you are not comfortable with being social with other people. Also, to perform good as far as your testing goes in school, that was a big one for me. I was kind of a perfectionist, so I wanted to get all A's all the time, so it was very stressful. I would spend a lot of time studying, so my anxiety was definitely higher. Number 6 is finances. I kind of mentioned that with the medical illnesses and diseases, worrying about paying for treatment, but obviously we need money to shelter ourselves, to provide for our families. I have 3 children and a wife. If the money wasn't coming in and I wasn't able to have this home or have this space, if I wasn't able to have a vehicle, I would be very stressed. If I was struggling to get food on the table, that would obviously be stressful. Finances are a huge deal nowadays, and it can cause a level of anxiety. Number 7 is emotional trauma. This can include a bunch of different things, but some common ones are like a divorce or breakup, obviously death in the family, or a death of a family friend, or just your friend in general, and verbal abuse, things like cyberbullying or in-person verbal abuse. Those things can be very stressful. Number 8 is physical trauma. So we're getting on the physical side. This can be physical abuse, physical bullying, and accidents. That can be a car accident, any physically traumatic injury that can definitely affect you, not just in the moment for that moment, but for then on, okay? So realize that can be something that affects your anxiety levels. Number 9 is the fact that it can be a learned behavior. This can happen quickly, but it's most likely happened over a long period of time. Sometimes we can learn this from our examples, like whoever raised us, whether that be your parents or your grandparents. You can learn this from people that you've been around on how to deal with adversity. I think anxiety and stress, when it becomes serious, is a negative way of handling adversity. But there's good news, just how you can learn to be anxious, you can learn how to not be anxious, okay? So that's good news there. Number 10 is just general stress buildup. It's by not solving your issues, not being open, not talking to anybody about it, and then one day it just becomes too much. This is often when many people have their first panic attack, and I firsthand know what that's like. I let the stress build up over quite a few years, and eventually I could not take anymore, and I entered fight or flight response. The adrenaline pumped out through my body, and I had a 6-hour-long panic attack, which basically led down 5 years of anxiety disorders. So I know firsthand what it's like to have anxiety. If you have any of these causes, make sure that you talk to a professional. Make sure that you're handling these. And in the description down below, there is the online therapy that's free to sign up, but I also have my tips for overcoming anxiety and anxiety disorders, something that worked for me. It was a formula that I had to put into action. I'm not the strongest of all people, but that worked for me. It can work for you too. My social media is down below. There's other resources down there, so check that out. Aside from that, guys, subscribe. If you enjoyed this, like this video, hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button so you get updates when I put these videos out, and I will talk to you guys later.